This is D4V. You might know him from Romantic Homicide, the song that made him a TikTok sensation overnight. But in April 2026, police armed with rifles showed up at a Hollywood Hills residence and arrested the 21-year-old on suspicion of murder because months earlier, a 14-year-old girl's dismembered body had been found decomposing in the trunk of his Tesla. And the story of how he got there, it starts more than 2 years before anyone even knew to look. David Anthony Burke grew up in Houston, Texas. He wasn't signed to a major label. He wasn't discovered at some industry showcase. He built his whole career from his bedroom. They were recording alt pop and R&B tracks and posting them online, and it worked. Romantic Homicide blew up on TikTok and put him on the radar of music fans who loved his moody, emotional sound. He was young, he was talented, and he had all the momentum of someone whose career was just getting started. That version of his story feels almost impossible to reconcile with what comes next. Back in April of 2024, a 13-year-old girl named Celeste Rivas Hernandez was last seen in Lake Elsinore, California, a small city about 60 miles southeast of Los Angeles. According to The Guardian, authorities reported her missing on April 5th. At the time, it was a missing persons case, a family waiting for answers. Nobody outside of her community paid much attention, but that disappearance, that single moment, was the first thread in a case that would eventually unravel everything. Then more than a year later, someone at a tow lot in Hollywood noticed something wrong. A Tesla had been sitting there for weeks, towed from the Hollywood Hills after it appeared abandoned, and according to LAPD, someone reported a foul odor coming from the vehicle. When authorities opened the trunk, they found a decomposed body inside. The car was registered to D4V. Just like that, a missing persons case from 2024 and a rising music star's abandoned car were suddenly part of the same story, and nobody was ready for what came next. For nearly 2 weeks, investigators worked to identify the victim. Then, on September 19th, the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's office confirmed what many feared. The body in that trunk belonged to Celeste Rivas Hernandez. She was 15 years old. She'd had a birthday since she went missing. According to The Guardian, LAPD immediately classified her death as a homicide, though they hadn't yet determined the cause of death. A missing girl, a famous car, and now a murder investigation with D4VD's name attached to it. The music world went quiet. Here's where the timeline gets even harder to sit with. On September 29th, LAPD Captain Scot Williams told People magazine that Celeste had likely been dead for several weeks before anyone even found her. The Tesla had been sitting at that tow lot for weeks before the September 8th discovery, which means, according to investigators, Celeste may have been in that trunk for a very long time, unreported, unfound, while her family was still waiting. That detail changed the weight of the entire case, and it raised a question nobody could stop asking. What did D4VD know, and when did he know it? And just when things seemed to go quiet publicly, the next shoe dropped. In February of 2026, the Associated Press obtained previously sealed grand jury subpoenas, and those documents confirmed something prosecutors hadn't said out loud yet. David Burke, known professionally as D4VD, was the formal target of a Los Angeles County grand jury investigation, one count of murder. According to The Guardian, this was the first time the public had confirmation that prosecutors weren't just looking at him, they were building a case against him. The walls were closing in. Then came April 17, 2026. Police arrived at a residence in the Hollywood Hills, and they didn't come quietly. According to LAPD and city authorities, officers armed with rifles arrested D4VD at the location. He was taken into custody and held without bail on suspicion of murder. No bail. That tells you something about how seriously prosecutors are treating this case. The young artist who built a career on emotional music about love and loss was now sitting in a cell, charged with taking a 14-year-old girl's life. The internet didn't know how to process it. Honestly, neither did I. As of April 2026, D4VD David Anthony Burke, 21 years old, is being held without bail. According to The Guardian, the case has drawn massive media attention across Los Angeles and beyond, but so many questions remain unanswered. What was his relationship with Celeste Rivas Hernandez? How did a 13-year-old girl from Lake Elsinore end up connected to a rising music star? And can prosecutors actually prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he killed her? Celeste's family has waited over 2 years for answers. This case is far from over. So here's what I want to know from you. What do you think the relationship between D4VD and Celeste Rivas Hernandez actually was? Drop your thoughts in the comments and follow for more stories like this, because trust me, we're just getting started.